Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Delta Ita's classes on how to reduce cost and become more profitable. In the last 18 videos, we shared 5 topics. 3 were on the basics of cost reduction, and the fourth one was an example or a case study on how to apply cost reduction and constraint elimination to boost your capacity as well as profits. And the last video was on the topic called material, raw material, which is the biggest cost constituent in any industry. As per Peter Decker, 25% of your cost is, or your price goes for buying material, and another 23% goes in transporting this material from its source to the factory or inside the factory or from factory to the customer. So how to reduce that cost so that you get a major gain was what we discussed in the last 3 videos. Today, we will once again go through another topic, which we have named it as study of no action points. Now, in any process, as you all know, there will be action points and no action points. Some would call it as value addition, or some would call it as idling time. Okay. Whatever it is, we Delta Eta would like to define this as action point and no action point. And we would like to share the next 2 sessions, next 2 videos on this no action point study and how reducing no action points helps you to increase your output. Okay. Now, what do we see in this picture? In this slide, what do we see? We see a flight of aircrafts, a fleet of aircrafts just parked in the airport. Is there any value addition happening here? This aircraft may be lying here for more than maybe 10 hours, 12 hours, but it cannot bring any revenue to the company. This is a Swiss Air flight or a British Airways flight. It cannot bring any revenue unless it is flying. Once the aircraft is parked, it adds no value to the customer. It's another place to sit. Only when it is transporting the customer from point A to point B does it add any value to the customer or it brings any revenue to the industry. So all the activities done on the ground, they are required to keep the aircraft flying. But if our focus is only on keeping doing the activities on the ground so that the aircraft is 100% free from defects, you will have no time for flying. So you will have to make sure that the aircraft flies with the required safety measures quite regularly. Okay, so how you can minimize that time? This is what we are going to see in this study of no action points. Again, this is not a raw material into a finished product or a product, and there are action points and no action points in the process. We see the lesson objectives here is to reduce the cycle time of a process, learn to analyze the steps in a process and identify the action points and no action points, learn to evaluate the no action point times and develop ways to reduce it, quantify the gains by analyzing the reduction in fixed cost, learn to estimate capacity enhancement and profit enhancement due to this study. So 5 objectives we have for this lesson. Let's move forward. What do you mean by an action point time? As I repeatedly said earlier, any process will have action points and no action points. Action points means the intended value is added in this step. In the action point, some value is added in this step. The second important thing is a permanent change happens to the product or the information, making it closer to the desired end product. Uh, for example, if you have a piece of steel and you want to make a, let's say, a hanger out of it, a piece of steel remains a piece of steel unless it is acted upon, bent properly, the hook is made, and the ends are cleared so that you find it's a useful product. So every step in the process where there is some change happening to the piece of steel is a value added step. A permanent change happens to the product or information. Even the same thing happens to the information also. Let's say there's an inquiry received by the sales department. Uh, if it's coming by email today, but if the email is not downloaded, it's downloaded, made into a file, given an inquiry number, and given to the sales manager. All these activities have taken place, but is there any change happening to that information? It is coming to you as an inquiry, and it is still the inquiry stage. The sales manager goes through the inquiry and assigns it to a concerned sales engineer. Okay, so the file is transferred from the sales manager's cabin to the sales engineer's office. Even in this stage, no permanent change happens except that it has found a owner now. It has found a sales engineer who is designated to act on that information. The next step, the sales engineer goes through the inquiry and then decides what is to be quoted. Okay. And then finds out the price for that item to be quoted and makes a quotation. Makes a quotation. So now there's a change happening. The inquiry was one paper. Now it has become two papers. One is a inquiry and the other one is a quotation. So there's a permanent change happening. Then this quotation is signed and sent back to the customer as a quotation. So now you see only two changes are happening here. One is the inquiry was converted into a quotation and then the quotation is transferred to the customer. All the other activities where the sales secretary is receiving the inquiry, is making a file, is sending it to the sales manager's office, the sales manager assigns a sales engineer receives the file. All these are no action points. No change happens to that piece of inquiry until it is acted upon and converted into a quotation, and that quotation is sent to the customer. So until this point, there is no action happening. So the only two actions, whereas there are so many no action points. So action points is one where there is a permanent change happening to the product or the information. Again, an action point is well defined, controlled, and planned. Now, for example, you want to drill a hole. The drilling hole is not a undefined action. You know what is the tool bit to be used. Depending on the thickness of the piece you want to drill on, you know what is the diameter to be used, you know what is the machine to be used, and then you know what is the force to be used to get the hole done. Whether it's going to be drilled or punched, it depends on the thickness. So the action points are well defined, well controlled, and well planned. You want to make any changes in that action point, you need to be an expert in the subject. Okay, you are drilling a piece of 10 mm, you are drilling instead of punching. It takes time. So if you want to punch a 10 mm plate, you need to be an expert on how to get it punched. Normally, punching is done up to 7 mm. So improving on an action points requires sound knowledge and skill. Of course, changing action points also has an inherent risk. So instead of punching a hole in 7 mm, instead of drilling a hole in a 10 mm plate, if you decide to punch a hole, it carries a risk of cracking because the force required to punch a hole in the 10 plate is much higher than what the steel piece can withstand. So there is a risk of getting torn or the punch going not through it and the punch not having exact parallel sides. So you need to be very careful about that. So changing action points has got an inherent risk and requires sound knowledge and skill. So this is the action point features. And action point plus no action point is the total cycle time of a product. Let's say you are converting a piece from A to B. So the action points as well as the no action point in the entire process is called the cycle time. So action point time can be a cycle time minus the no action point time. Cycle time minus no action point time is the action point time. Now let's see what is a no action point time. Just the opposite. No value is added in this step. No permanent change happens to the product or the information, but it consumes time and resource. Idling, waiting, movement are all common examples. Now, in the example which I described earlier about the inquiry coming from the customer, all the activities done by the secretary has no impact on the outcome. The sales manager may assign with some comments, then there is some value addition to that paper. If there is no comments, it means that again it is going in the same format to the sales engineer. So there is no value added in this step. There is no permanent change happening, but all this takes time and resource. You need one secretary to receive it, to give it a serial number, to make a file out of it, to shift it to the office of the sales manager, and from there shift it to the office of the sales engineer. It takes time and resource. So idling time, waiting time, movement time are all common examples. An item can wait or move without undergoing any change. This is the no action point times. So no action point time is the same as we saw earlier. Cycle time minus action point time. This is called the no action point time. So as we can see from this equation, when you reduce the no action point time, automatically your cycle time reduces because cycle time is equal to action point plus no action point. Now we saw that to reduce action point time, you need to be an expert. But equally important or equally rewarding is when you reduce the no action point time also. All enterprises focus on reducing the action point time and improving. What is being done in 9 seconds, you try to do it in 8 seconds with a risk. Forgetting that the piece on which you reduced 1 second is lying idle there for 3 hours. So you saved 1 second, but you forgot to move the piece for 3 hours, which means that you are losing 10,000 seconds. So cycle time is always reduced when action point time and no action point is reduced. But as I said, action point time requires expertise to reduce. So we can focus on no action point time without any risk and reduce the cycle time. Why no action time should be reduced? First answer is to reduce the cycle time. When you reduce the cycle times, automatically you increase the number of cycles in a month. Let's say if you have a cycle time of 1 day, you will get, and you are working 25 days, you will have only 25 production cycles in a month. Whereas if your cycle time is only about 4 hours, it means that you get double the output. So to reduce cycle time, we have to study NAPT. You might recollect the case study of the painting line, where we found that there was a lot of idling time which we reduced to increase the throughput, to increase the number of invoiceable product. So second point is to maximize the throughput. When you maximize the throughput, you reduce the fixed cost per unit. And when you reduce fixed cost, automatically the cost per unit goes down. Fourth point is to reduce accumulation of material in the shop floor. Imagine a lot of material is waiting for action throughout the shop floor. It becomes a big mess. So once you reduce the accumulation of material in the shop floor, automatically your place is made available for other activities. So to reduce the mess inside the organization, remove materials lying there for action, waiting for action. So eliminate no action point times so that you can reduce the accumulation of material. To eliminate a constraint. No action point times normally form a constraint. Eliminate that and you will find that the outputs will be increased. You might recollect the classes we had on constraint elimination, where we said that maximize throughput through the constraint. So if there is a lot of material waiting in front of the constraint, it means that there's a lot of waiting time. So we have to eliminate a constraint. So study NAPT so that you can reduce the cycle time, maximize throughput, reduce fixed cost, reduce accumulation of material, and to eliminate a constraint. Why action point time is not studied? There is nothing wrong with studying action point time and improving it. But at our level as a cost reduction consultant, we always say, look at what is wasted. What is being done, trying to improve is good, but what is wasted, eliminate that so that there is less risk. So at action point time, because a permanent and planned change happens, touching it requires expertise. Again, changing action point time might change the outcome also. We were discussing about punching holes. So instead of drilling, if you punch, as I said, there can be a tear. There can be conicity. So it can change the outcome. So instead of that, you go continue with the drilling until you have the expertise. You make enough experiments to see to it that the 10 mm can be punched and not drilled. So this is why action point time is not studied. So what are the steps in the process? We'll see. When you're studying no action point time, what are the steps in the process? First step is, of course, to summarize all the activities in a process. Identifying each step with the change that takes place in the material with a from to format. So you have to identify all the activities in the process, and each step should be identified. What is that step? What is the change happening in that step? Make it as a from to format. When no change happens, it is called a no action point. When no change happens to the material or the communication, it is called a no action point. Next step will be measure the time taken at all these points. So once you identify what is the no action point time and what is the action point time, find out what is the time taken at NAPT and what is the time taken at APT. Then now don't do anything with APT, leave it aside, park it aside, go now with NAPT. Focus on the reasons for the time taken at NAPT. Find out reasons why there is a NAPT there. NAPT is unavoidable. NAPT is there, but you can reduce it. Okay, so note my point. NAPT is unavoidable. NAPT will be there. There will be waiting times. There will be movement required. Okay, there will be some shifting time, transfer time, but it doesn't mean that it should be that long. You can minimize it. So analyze reasons for the time at NAPT. Find ways to reduce this time. Then repeat the study regularly to keep on reducing the cycle time. Continue study because it is not a process that can be ended soon. Keep on improving. Kaizen, they call it the Japanese. Keep on improving. You can always fine tune. You can always fine tune, reducing 1 second here, 1 second there, so that your cycle time keeps on reducing. And once the cycle time reduces, automatically the number of cycles that you do in a month increases. So it is not a study which will end immediately. It is a continuous process. You will always find ways to improve. Improvement doesn't end. So you keep on repeating the study until you reach a certain level of expertise. Maybe by that time you will open up a new idea itself. You will change the process itself. So whatever you are doing today, analyze the process, find out what is the action points and what are the no action points. And from there, you try to minimize the time taken at the no action point times. They all say value stream mapping, value addition, all this is true. It's good. Value addition, value stream mapping is all good. It's the same as this process. But here we are focusing only on the no action point times because the risk is minimal. The time at when you reduce either at the no action point or the action point, it gets the same result in the cycle time. So whatever the reduction you make in the APT or NAPT is reflected in the cycle time and it helps you to get more cycles. So try to minimize the cycle time by reducing no action point time.